Okay, so welcome to Sarah and Lacey. I have Sarah and Lacey. Lacey, you're down in Arizona, right?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona.
And Sarah, you're in Utah.
Hmm.
I'm in Vegas, and we have this technology that we can all sit and talk. Pretty cool. And the purpose of this interview, I've been emailing both Sarah and Lacey back and forth quite a bit about hymns in a hurry and primary songs in a hurry and all the different ways that I teach piano online to students all over the world, really, mostly the United States, but the world as well. And I just kind of wanted to, this is my first time doing this interview. So anyway, I'm really excited, really grateful to have both of you here. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to go kind of through a list of questions to kind of get your story of where you come from musically, your experience with the program, likes, dislikes, all those kinds of things. We want to hear it all. And so I'll start with, we're going to ask this question of both of you, and I'll start, Lacey, you can start. What is your history of trying to learn the piano? Did you have lessons before? Did you have a lot of lessons, a little bit of lessons, successful, non-successful? Go ahead.
So I never officially took lessons. I've always been very musically inclined. I've always been fascinated with music. But I was more interested in vocals than I was in piano. And then when I got older and in high school, I started writing music, and I could hear perfectly how I wanted the songs to sound, but I couldn't find a way to put it to music. And so my friend played piano, and we would go over to his house, and I would try to sing for him how I wanted these songs to play, and he would try to put it to music, and it was kind of a hot mess. We couldn't ever get it to actually sound how I was hearing it. And so then he tried to help me learn to play the piano, and we started with, the little kids' books and whatever, and after a week, he's like, yeah, this isn't working. So I just wasn't grasping it the way that, you normally would. And so, it was high school and we weren't that dedicated. And so we eventually gave up, and I never really
Do you remember what kids' books they were? Were they like the Bastion books, or Piano Adventures?
Oh, I don't even know.
But it's just kind of like how to teach kids to read music and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like Mary Had a Little Lamb and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, those type things.
Sure. The classics, right. Got ya. Sarah, what about you? What's your history with piano learning, and what's your experience and all that kind of thing?
So I've always been drawn to the piano, but we didn't have a piano growing up, like in childhood. And I would always beg my parents, can we please get a piano? Can I please take lessons? And that was never an option until I think I was a freshman in high school. They finally purchased a used piano, and it was so old school and like didn't hold a tune, and half the keys didn't work, but I loved it. And I sat at the piano like on the daily because I was so excited to finally have a piano. And my sophomore year of high school, I was almost 16. I took official lessons for 2 months. And then my family, my parents had purchased a bed and breakfast in Nauvoo. And so we went from Arizona to Nauvoo, and I had to quit taking lessons. And then when we came back for the next school year to Arizona, I just didn't pick lessons back up. And so I've only had those 2 months of like official training. And since then I've tried to take like what I know and what I learned and keep teaching myself, but it's just so impossible. And then I got married, and for the last 12 years, we haven't had a piano. And so now that we do have a piano, trying to remember everything, I don't remember anything.
A lot. Yeah. 2 months isn't very much. So
Right.
I'm impressed actually that you remember anything at all. That's like a testament to your drive, actually. Because that's not, that's enough to like warm up, basically. And so Sarah asked you this question: how did you find the online program we're talking about today, Hymns in a Hurry, and what initially drew you to it? And was it like you thought it would be, or was it different, or yeah?
So it's kind of a funny story because I didn't have a piano when I came across Hymns in a Hurry. It literally was just an ad. Scrolling through Facebook, I saw it, and I was just drawn to it because for the last 12 years, I said, we haven't had a piano, but I've always just loved the idea. It's always been a dream of mine to master the piano. And so my husband, occasionally for Christmas or my birthday, he'll buy me a piano book, even though we haven't had a piano. That's just, we kind of collect piano books apparently. And so when I saw the program on Facebook, I can't remember how it worked. I clicked that I was interested or something. And I don't remember if it was from there you sent me an email of a sample.
Yeah, I just ask for people's email, and then I send them a free lesson and explain how it works, and they try it out. Yeah.
Right. So that's what it was. And I watched the video of your sample, and I didn't have a piano. I couldn't try it out, but just watching it, I knew that I would be able to do it. And so I purchased it without owning a piano. I purchased your program knowing at that point, I knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Our home we were getting ready to sell, and we were going to purchase a home that would have space for a piano. That was like on our must-have list. And so I knew that I would be getting a piano in the next few months. And so purchasing it wasn't that extreme.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Did it hit all of your questions?
Yeah, no. And by the way, I mean, I have had people who go, I don't have a piano, but I love this. I want to do it. I can do it, so I love that.
Yeah, that was totally me.
Okay, cool. But you did have a piano. Some of these people, I'm like, are you going to get one? Like, you do have to have a piano, right? You do have to be able to use it. You do. Okay, and so then this is a question for Lacey. So when Sara told you about the program, did you like initially jump on it and want to do it? Were you hesitant? Did it take some time? And why? Was it like a time thing, or was it just like I know a lot of people think like, I don't think I could ever learn piano, or, have those types of thoughts. I just wondered what your experience with the transition of you using it was.
So because Sara lives in Utah, we Marco Polo each other all the time, video chat, if people don't know what that is. And Sara would always set her phone on the piano, and she's like, I found this program. It's really awesome. Guess what I learned today? And then she would start practicing the songs that she had learned to play. And I remember the first time that she sent it to me, and I went, you learned to play that quickly? Are you kidding me? And she's like, yeah, this is, how the program works. And she kind of explained to me, the basis of the program. And she's like, you will love this. You need to get it. But at the time, it was May or June, something like that. And I had just opened a brand new salon. We just started our own business. And so I was really overwhelmed with everything that we had going on with that. And then, I have 3 kids and a husband, and life is crazy. And so, yeah, it was definitely a time issue. I just didn't have time to even consider taking on another project. But, as the videos kept coming in, I mean, it wasn't necessarily daily, but it was definitely weekly that we were, practicing the piano, and, she was showing me all these things that she'd learned, and I started to get jealous, just because I've always wanted to be able to play an instrument. I didn't really particularly care what instrument. I just wanted to be able to play music. And so seeing all the progress that she was having, I was really jealous. And so then I've always kind of looked on Facebook and OfferUp and, what Craigslist, whatever, trying to see if there was a piano within my budget, just for future, because I always wanted my kids to be able to play at some point. And so randomly, a couple weeks ago, I just happened to look at OfferUp, and there was this most perfect piano that was within my budget, and I just couldn't believe that it was real. And I told my husband, I'm like, yeah, we're buying a piano. And he's like, what? And the piano was like 3 hours from where we live. And I'm like, we have to pick it up tonight. They're moving to St. George in the morning. It has to be gone tonight. Whoa. And he's like, are you kidding me? And so we literally left our house. I think it was like 6 o'clock that night, and drove to Gilbert, where this piano was, and bought a piano dolly from Home Depot so that we could even load the piano to take it home. So anyway, it was quite the adventure. We didn't get home until after midnight. And then the next morning, I purchased Hymns in a Hurry, and we'd set the piano up, and I was playing it by that night. So awesome. It was pretty crazy.
Oh, that's so cool. You drove 3 hours to go get the piano and drove back.
Well, and it was so funny. My in-laws live pretty close to us, and they were babysitting our kids so that we could go and get this piano. And my father-in-law, he's like, are you kidding me? He's like, you're going to get a piano. And he was joking with me about it. And he's like, you have so many things going on right now. When are you going to find time to learn to play the piano? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll make it work.
So how's that gone? How have you, because I know that is a lot of everybody's busy. We all take on too much, myself included, right?
Right.
So this could be a question for both of you. How, Lacey first, and then Sarah, how have you found time to make this happen? And go ahead.
I have set a goal to try and play at least, 15 to 30 minutes a day. It doesn't always happen because, life is crazy. And in being in the salon, I tend to work, 10 to 12 hour days when I'm there.
Wow.
And so it's crazy. And then kids' extracurricular activities and whatever. But usually nighttime, my husband and I, we trade off putting kids to bed. And so usually when the kids are in the shower and he's dealing with them, that's my 30 minutes that I get to practice the piano. And that way, the baby isn't trying to play the piano with me, which is kind of nice.
Right.
So, I try at nighttime usually is when I try to play the most. And I'm trying to get it to where the piano just happens to line up against the wall where my kids' rooms are. And so playing it at night hasn't been an option while they're sleeping because it's waking them up. But it's been a couple weeks, so they're starting to get used to it. So yeah. I'm hoping within the next, couple more weeks that I'll be able to play while they're sleeping, and that will give me more time.
I've talked to actually a lot of people that say, a few different students online and then students that I teach personally, that say that they like going to bed listening to their parents practice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's actually like one guy I talked to in particular, and my aunt as well, that it's like a comfort thing, that mom's there. I don't know. It was kind of sweet. Sarah, what about you? So you're busy. I know you're busy as well. You guys are both super successful, yet you find time to practice. So how?
I don't know that I would say super successful, but I do work outside of the home super part-time. And then I also have a home business and 3 kids. And so it's just like a really busy thing I've got going on here. And so full disclosure, I love the piano, and I will neglect other things in my life to sit at the piano. I just can't help myself. But with, for me, it's stealing moments here and there throughout the day. It's just sitting at the piano and playing through a song, every verse, and then going and doing something else. And then I definitely play after my kids go to bed. I believe in what you're saying of that being a comfort thing, and it's never been a problem in our home. It hasn't woken anybody up. So that's when I play the most, is after they've gone to bed.
Gotcha. Cool. Good system. Yeah, Lacey.
I definitely agree with what Sarah said. There are definitely days where I'm like, okay, if I hurry up and I finish the dishes, or if I get the floor vacuumed, then I can play the piano. I have to set goals of I have to do this in order to be able to play the piano. It's my reward or I won't get anything done. And right. So the days that I'm off and I'm home with the baby or whatever, it's, if I put her in front of the TV for a couple minutes, then I can have a couple minutes to practice the piano or whatever. It's definitely trying to prioritize, and it's addicting, especially with this program, because it is so successful. You want to keep doing it more and more and more because you're seeing how successful you're being. And so I have to convince myself not to sit there all the time.
Cool. That's great to hear. So Sarah, this is a question for you. Since you had 2 months of lessons, which isn't a ton, but I think it's enough that you can definitely know. How do you think this approach compares to traditional piano lessons? And do you see, or are there things you feel like you're missing? Are there things you feel like you get that you didn't get with traditional lessons? What do you think? How does it compare?
So I don't know that they're comparable, because traditional lessons, it takes so much work to learn one song and a lot of practice and having to keep coming back to it. Whereas this program, the first time I sat down, in 10 minutes, I was playing a song. And that's when I sent a Marco Polo to my sisters, you're never going to believe this. Literally 10 minutes, that's all it's taken. And listen to this, just listen, I was so excited. So I don't know that it really compares to traditional lessons in that sense, because it is so simplified that anybody can do it. And because it's music that we're all so familiar with and we know what it sounds like, it's easier to pick out the melody. So then it's just learning those like really simple chords. The only thing for me that I feel is maybe missing is knowing like it can't transition into reading music at this point at least. And so I can't just pick up a hymn book and start playing any song from it. I do need the actual Hymns in a Hurry program.
Totally. Yeah. That's exactly right. Cool. Thanks. Okay. So question for Lacey, and you can answer this as too, Sarah. And is this something you would ever try with your kids? And are there any particular like types of learners for either of you that you think that this would be good for? Types of learners maybe it wouldn't be good for? Yeah, I thought a lot about this, but I just want to get either of your takes.
I definitely feel like it would be a great addition to regular piano lessons for my kids. I definitely would like them to learn because they're little and kids, studies show that kids learn so quickly. I definitely would like them to learn the traditional way, but this program is a great added bonus to that because, it gives them more, what's the word I'm looking for, where, it's more successful, basically. You feel like you're learning it faster, and so it would be a great addition to the program. I think with your program, I think it's great for adults like me who don't necessarily have a lot of time to start with the basics and, years and years of piano lessons to be able to get to where you're getting in 10 minutes with these songs. And so for me, I think the program is a lot more, is a lot easier for where I'm at in life. I definitely feel like it's also catered towards people like Sarah and I that we play by ear. I remember in high school when we got the piano and neither one of us knew how to play, and we would sit there and we would pick out melodies to our favorite songs, or we would play, I don't know what they're called, like the two-person
Heart and soul.
Yeah, one person would play one part and the other person would play the other part, and our mom used to get so annoyed, stop playing, because we would play it for so long. But I definitely feel like, it's more catered towards more adult, basically, because, we all have busy schedules. And so it allows you to feel successful in such a little amount of time, which is awesome.
Cool. Sarah, you have any thoughts about that? Using it? Yeah, go ahead.
So funny story. Okay, so we got a piano in at the end of March when we moved into our new home, and I didn't pull up your program and actually start trying until June. But I had talked about this program to a lot of people before I had actually tried it myself because I was just so excited about it. And so as new neighbors would come over and introduce themselves, our piano was in that front room and they would see it and always comment on it. And so I would tell them, like, yeah, I'm so excited. I have this program that I'm going to try, and just talk it up. And so there was a neighbor, we're in the same ward. And then after I told them about it, the very next Sunday they came to church and they were like, thank you so much for telling us about that. We purchased the program and my husband loves it. He just sits at the piano and plays these songs. And they said they have boys that are, I believe they're taking piano lessons. And they've said that that's really been beneficial to them because they are learning the traditional way to play piano, but then they have something that helps just kind of boost their confidence and feel successful at. So I just think it's kind of funny that like people have success right away. It doesn't matter the age.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay. And then Sarah, so this is maybe the last question and we'll wrap up and get any comments that either of you want to say. And you said this is so, I was like, hey, I was talking to my wife, like actually when I was reading the email, she just said, this is a movement, not a moment. That's so cool. That's so cool. I'm going to make that like my banner, And I just wanted, because I loved it and I was flattered. Thank you. I just wanted you to expand on that. Why do you think it warrants a movement?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So I do love that I sent you like this novel of an email. I am long-winded, to say the least, in my writing. And that one sentence stood out to you enough that you would like me to expand on it. I love that. But I also feel like I do need to give credit where credit is due. And that saying, I guess, this isn't a moment, it's a movement. I was actually quoting Broadway's Hamilton. That is a line that they use in a song, and it's just resonated with me because I do feel that way about specific things, and I feel that way about this program. So what I mean by that, it's not a moment, because this isn't just a fad or a trend. It's not going to go away. It's a movement. You're changing the way people like me who have always dreamed of playing the piano but didn't necessarily have the opportunity as a child, and now as an adult it seems so overwhelming, and it seems like taking piano lessons as an adult, that just isn't something people do. Now I feel like I have the ability to play the piano. I can use your program and feel successful at it, and you're bringing music into homes that otherwise wouldn't have it. So I don't feel like this is just something that's going to go away. The more people that use it, the more it's going to spread and people are going to be excited about it. That's not something that will ever go away. There are always going to be children that grow up wanting to play the piano and can't, and as an adult now have to figure out how they're going to learn. And so I feel like this program is exactly what those people need.
Awesome. Lacey, you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to expand on that a little bit. She was talking about, having music in homes that wouldn't normally have it. And when I've been sitting down and practicing these hymns, my husband has made the comment over and over, it's so nice to hear the hymns played in our home. And I typically, I start a project and then after a few weeks with it, I get bored and I move on to something else and I never finish it. And with this, even my husband's made the comment a few times. He's like, wow, you've really practiced a lot. Like it's been something that I've been excited about, and I can see myself continuing on and being successful with it. And so I definitely feel like it's not something that you're going to start and then get bored of. The more successful you are, the more you want to keep doing it. And so it's definitely been an amazing thing for my life. And it's been great for my kids to see me being successful at something. And now, they're interested in, hey, I want to play. Can you teach me? And so now I can use this program to try and start teaching them, before I'm ready to even put them in lessons or whatever. And I was going to touch on it earlier and I forgot, but one of the things that I love the most about this program is I don't learn the traditional way. I know when I've tried before, I can't sit and look at the book and then automatically know where my hands are. I have to watch my hands. And so with your program, I can play through it once or twice and I have it memorized. And then I can sit and watch my hands and watch my hand placement and make sure that I've got it where I need it to go. And especially playing by ear, I know how it's supposed to sound. And so that helps, because then if I make a mistake, I can automatically know, oh, hey, it needs to be this. And so that it's very helpful for someone that learns the way that I do.
Perfect. Great.
Yeah. Can I comment?
Yeah, Sarah, absolutely.
Sorry. Something that she said triggered a thought for me too. So I've had that same experience. When I took piano lessons for 2 months, I would hear how it needed to sound when it was like, what is that? Hymns Made Easy, that hymn book, I know how the songs sound. And so then it was just figuring out the left hand. And once I had pieced it all together, I didn't need the book anymore. It was just muscle memory and hearing it, And so there was an experience where I went to piano lessons and I played it for my piano teacher. And she was like, you did really good, except you were adding an extra note in, which it wasn't a song I was super familiar with. It wasn't a hymn for that particular moment. But I just realized, because I wasn't reading the notes, I was just playing it from how I remembered it sounding while I was practicing. So this program has really played to my strength of hearing the music and being able to play it.
Awesome. Yeah. And let me just say too that while this program doesn't lead to reading music, it does lead to playing by ear a lot, which is something that people who read music often can't do.
Right.
And so they're two separate skills, and anyway, so that's cool.
So
Strength sounds like.
I was actually telling Lacey last night, I haven't pulled up the videos a whole lot because it just hasn't been super convenient for me to have my laptop at the piano. And so I recently was given an iPad, so that's how I've been like watching videos now. And I find I don't sit at the piano and watch them. I'll just like watch them randomly when I have a minute, And so I just recently, the day before yesterday, watched like there's 3 like introduction videos, I feel like. I don't remember what they were called.
Yeah.
But watching them, you played those like repeated chords that you teach in the program, and sang different songs to them. That there's hundreds of songs that use these same chords. And so listening to that, I was like, holy cow, like this is crazy. Yeah. And so I have, for each of my kids, I've picked a song for them. And so I was like, I wonder, and I pull up these songs and I could hear it. Like, yeah, it's those chords are repeating, And so I felt really excited about that. Like, maybe there is some truth to this, that I can like listen to music and be able to figure it out on my own.
Absolutely. Because it's not very different. None of the hit songs in the last like 15 years, they're all the same song written over and over. So it's, I mean, you wouldn't believe it, like, because they're making billions of dollars and everything. But
different chords, same melody, or no, different
melody,
same chords. Yeah. And that is something that I wanted to comment on. I don't know that it really fit in with any of your questions, but one thing that I've really appreciated, at least with Hymns in a Hurry, I haven't looked very closely at the primary songs in a hurry yet, but there's maybe 5 different chords that get used throughout all of the songs. And some of them, there's only 2 chords total that you switch between.
Yep.
And once I made that connection, it made it a lot easier to play all of the other songs because, I already know where this chord is,
Yeah,
So that was really cool.
20. Yeah. Primary songs, there's a little bit more, the chords are a little bit more complicated, but not too much. And it depends on the song, but yeah. So, but yeah, no. Okay, cool. Well, thank you both so much. It's been really, really great. This is a first, but I'm going to try and find other people just like you to interview, because I think it's really valuable for me to get feedback, and also for other people to know like what they can do. And so thank you.
Of course.
And